I've gone through quite a few desk setups over the years, and there are definitely a few items that I found myself continuing to use over time. So today I figured I'd take you all through what currently made the cut for my main desk in the studio. And there's no sponsor for today's video, these are just products that I've genuinely found myself using, so hopefully you find this video helpful and take away some new ideas towards your own setup. Hey, really quick, halfway through the video, I 100% forgot that I had to go get a haircut. So if you see some shots where I have hair and some where I don't, that's why. My bad. Anyway, enjoy the video. Okay, so kickstarting the accessories with probably one of the most unique items on the list, we have the Zeromouse by Optimum Tech. Now, this is a 28 gram ultralight gaming mouse that actually is a mod kit for the Razer Viper V2 Pro. The process being that you take the Viper V2 Pro internals and put them into this shell. Now, truthfully, I initially bought this because I was curious, but I now find myself using it completely unironically. Ergonomically, you might be thinking that it would be uncomfortable, but I actually found that not to be the case at all. I've been using this as my daily driver for a few months now, and I have to say that the finger rest placements are actually really well thought out and actually pretty comfortable. And because of the weight, it's the closest thing to just aiming with your hand that I've experienced. Now, that being said, it does have its shortcomings, specifically the lack of side buttons, which is a pretty tough trade-off in my opinion, but hopefully in future designs that might be refined. Now, if you're looking for a good, comfortable, lightweight mouse that you can buy immediately, the G Pro Superlight is also a great pick. So alongside the mouse, I think it only makes sense to feature a keyboard, and this one right here is the Mojo 84 by Melgeek. I do rotate through keyboards quite a bit and also like using high ground keyboards because they have an awesome design and pretty good quality, honestly, but I like this one for a few reasons. Outside of the design itself, you get a gasket mounted structure, 1000 hertz polling rate, and both wired and Bluetooth options with a 4000 milliamp battery, so it lasts a while. The keyboard is also fully programmable with hot swap switches and the ability to connect up to 8 different Bluetooth devices. So yeah, this thing is pretty much stacked with features, and that's kind of the whole reason I ended up getting a second one in another color. Now, all of this is currently sitting on top of a high ground desk mat. Desk mats in general are something I've actually become a huge fan of over the past few years. They're just a nice way to both keep all of your peripherals on an even level while also adding a lot of personality to your desk setup. That, and I've really grown to enjoy the look of them over just traditional mouse pads. Now, that being said, desk mat designs are totally a personal preference, so I'll be sure to leave a few of my favorite places down in the description so you have options. Also, just keep in mind if you get a white mouse pad, it's going to show dirt a lot faster than a darker mouse pad would. Now, speaking of keeping things clean, obviously keeping your desk clean is just as important as what's actually on the desk. And a while back, I invested in one of these rechargeable electric air dusters, and I have never looked back. The air duster that I got also came with a bunch of different attachments, which is super helpful when doing things like cleaning my keyboard, my PC, or even just removing surface dust in general. Also, I think the rechargeable aspect just makes me much more prone to cleaning than I typically would with, say, compressed air cans, where once you run out, you have to kind of hype yourself up to buying more, or at least that was the case for me. Now, one thing I want to note is I'd recommend not cheaping out on one of the lower power dusters if you do get one. The most common complaint I see with people getting these is they just typically aren't powerful enough. So I'd say buy once, cry once, and spend the extra 20 bucks in this situation if you're able to. Now, to charge all of this, along with a bunch of my other devices, we have the Ugreen Nexode 300 watt GAN desk charger. I love this charger primarily because you're able to charge up to 5 devices at once. This includes the ability to fast charge 3 laptops at the same time at 140 watts in slot 1, 100 watts in slot 2, and 60 watts in slot 3. And this is one of those devices where truthfully I wasn't sure at first if I would really even use it, but I found myself using it for everything charging related now. The convenience of having a charging bank right at your desk and not having to go find outlets to charge your devices really is a game changer. That being said, this particular charger does come with a pretty hefty price point, and while I do actually think it's worth the money, if it's not within your budget, I would say just take the idea of a charging station at your desk and get something that's more within your budget. Now, keeping all of this nice and lit up is the Screen Bar Halo by BenQ. And this is kind of one of those products where a lot of people seem to either love them or hate them, but I'm actually a huge fan. For those who are unfamiliar with the idea behind it, you mount this desk light on top of your monitor, turn it on, and now you have a nicely lit desk area. This can be particularly helpful for things like eye strain, especially if you're working late at night and you'd otherwise just have the monitor light keeping things lit up. And while you might be wondering about the glare, the idea behind the light bar is actually that it projects light straight down onto your desk as opposed to on the monitor. So glare is something I've truly never noticed or felt the need to solve. Now, alongside the screen bar, it also came with this really nice wireless remote, which allows you to adjust things like the brightness, temperature, and cycle through various lighting configurations on the bar. And overall, I think the monitor light bar is just a great upgrade to keep your desk nice and lit without really taking up space like a traditional lamp on your desk would. So speaking of minimal footprints, for the microphone at this setup, I'm currently testing out the Rode Podmic, and this has to be one of my favorite desk mics right now for a couple of reasons. For starters, the microphone itself just has a really great build quality. At $99, you're getting a high quality dynamic microphone with a robust all metal construction and a really sleek design in my opinion. The mic's cardioid polar pattern helps isolate your voice from background noise, and small things like the built-in pop filter, integrated shock mounting system, and ease of use through Rode software really make this mic incredible value for the money. And then on top of all that, you have a black and white color option, so you should be able to make this match whatever setup you're building, especially if you pair it with something like the Rode PSA 1 Plus mic arm. Now, I wanted to add this as a bit of an honorable mention for a couple of reasons. The integrated cable management on the mic arm for both XLR and USB cables makes managing cables super easy, and it supports up to 2.6 pounds, meaning it can also handle some heftier mics like the Shure SM7B. Also, overall, I just really like the look of it. The spring design is really quiet, and it's easy to get out of the way when you're not using it. Now, with an XLR mic, of course, you're going to need an audio interface, and I have two options here that I think you can't go wrong with. Now, currently, I have the Rode mic connected to the Rodecaster Duo. Again, Rode is delivering great build quality here, and while this interface does look a bit intimidating at first, the actual setup is very plug and play. The layout itself makes it super easy to set and adjust various volume levels, mic settings, and pretty much anything else you'd need to do right on board of the device. And on top of the not one but two XLR inputs, the device even offers USB-C for computer connection, Bluetooth for phone calls, and I can even plug it into two devices like my laptop and my computer and use it for both at the same time. Now, if you don't need all this and you're just looking for a small, reliable interface, I'd check out the Wave XLR. This little compact audio interface from Elgato really is one of my favorites. With this device, you can easily adjust things like microphone gain, headphone volume, and the monitor mix with the multifunctional dial. Its XLR input is 48-volt phantom power, making it compatible with a wide variety of dynamic and condenser microphones. And Elgato's Wavelink software really is top tier when it comes to mixing audio sources, creating virtual channels, and managing audio routing with ease. That paired with the ability to add custom faceplates, and you really can make this thing unique to your setup. Okay, so switching gears a bit, one thing that I've been using for quite literally years now is this Ember Mug. I got this as a Christmas present, I want to say 5 years ago now, and as someone who drinks a lot of coffee and tea, this has really been a perfect gift. The mug is able to keep your drink hot at the exact temperature you prefer, between 120 and 145 degrees Fahrenheit. The battery lasts up to an hour on a single charge. Of course, you can get longer than that if you choose to keep it on the saucer, and you're able to control and monitor all of these settings directly inside of their app. Now, this is for sure a luxury item, but I do think it's a great addition to the setup if you drink a lot of hot beverages. The build quality is really solid, the newer ones being made of stainless steel with an updated ceramic coating to reduce scratches, and the weight of the overall mug is perfect in my opinion. It's definitely one of those random pieces of tech that's found itself in every setup I've had over the years. Now, sitting under the monitor is where I like to keep my Stream Deck Plus, and some of you might be thinking to yourself, well, I'm not a streamer, why would I need one of these? But this device is actually extremely powerful for all types of users. And while I do have mine personally set up to do things like switch scenes while I'm streaming or quickly adjust specific volume levels that I don't have set in the Rodecaster Duo, Elgato's marketplace seemingly has endless plugins, both free and for purchase. And from support on things like Premiere Pro to Notion to even software like Microsoft Teams, this can be a really powerful device for practically any user. And finally, sitting above the entire desk, I went ahead and mounted these pegboards, and it might be one of my favorite additions to the setup. This was actually inspired by Andres Vedosa, so shout out to him. This consisted of mounting two Scottish IKEA pegboards to the wall, which was pretty straightforward. And beyond just loving the look of these above the desk, they actually act as a very functional bit of storage as well. I've been using it to hold things like cleaning cloths, extra SSDs, cables, while also mounting my keyboard and adding some personal touches to really make the setup more unique to me. And overall, I both think it looks great and just adds some easy access organization to the setup. So I really hope you all found this video useful. Like I said, these are all products that I've genuinely used over the years, so I just wanted to go ahead and share them with you. Also, as I look to build out my home setup, I'm genuinely curious if there's products that you guys use on a daily basis that I might not know about, so definitely let me know. Anyway, until the next one, appreciate the support as always, and I'll see you guys soon.